Hello guys, how are you? How are you doing today? It's Taurus, it's your girl. Just letting you guys know, you might not have known who it was since the screen is black. But just to confirm, it is your girl. Okay, you guys. So I want to get into some things, and I'm not doing video. I'll explain that, but I'm not doing video, and literally I just put my phone down on a flat surface and started recording because I don't know how to do audio on here right now at the moment. So I will be busy this weekend. I will be going on a trip this weekend, so there are quite a few things. I'm a last minute person, I'm kind of last minute, so I was like, no, okay, I'm gonna do it this day, and so I basically pushed it until the very last days. Yeah, so I don't really have all of the time for that, and I don't know how to do audio. I was thinking, should I just record on my blogcast and then download that and find excuse me, some type of way to upload it to YouTube, but I don't know how to do that. I'm still new to this, guys. So I've only been doing this for a month or so. So yeah, if anybody has any tips or anything like that, please feel free to let me know. I think I actually want to go live on YouTube in the next couple of days, just to scope the scenery out, see what I'm working with, just try to get some traffic to my channel and also to my website. So what I want to start doing is therapy or advice or healing sessions, just randomly and on lives and things like that. So I can't go live on TikTok and I can't go live on there was something else I couldn't go live on that I tried to. Okay, there was 2 apps, and I don't think I have enough followers to go live on TikTok, but I don't know. I'm not really a TikTok person. I love watching TikToks, but it's I don't really like to post TikToks, and I know that's oh my goodness, that's how you get traction and all that, or traffic, whatever. Same thing, I guess. But so I'd rather just post on YouTube. I mean, if I feel like it, I'll post on TikTok, but I really don't care to. I think it is a tool, but I don't think it's the only way. I don't think you must get on TikTok in order for people to see your stuff. I think you just have to be really good at marketing. So that's also what I'm learning. I've actually been in the marketing, learning marketing for quite some time now, you guys. But I'm not a seller. I don't like to sell people stuff. I don't want to try to convince you of anything. That's why it's I'll offer you the services if you want them. I will never force services on somebody or try to coerce people into getting services. That's not my thing. I'm not a salesperson. I'm a healer. So I'm here to help humanity as long as they want my help. But I will never try to sell you something. I will never try to coerce you or force you into buying anything or booking anything with me. So that's just what it is. But I will try my best to do what I can to promote myself. But anyways, you guys, so today's video, it's not going to be too long, but I did just want to talk about the word acknowledgement. I think that's a very important word. And so I think that right now, during everything that's going on, there's been a lot going on. And even with ourselves too, there's been a lot going on in the world and in the outer reality and in our inner reality, and just with ourselves too. Almost everybody I've talked to has been we've all been relating in certain ways, and it's nice. And on downside, it's oh, we've all been feeling kind of a little bit shitty, a little bit mentally ill. But on the other hand, we know that we're not alone, and that can take a huge weight off of somebody's shoulders. I know the feeling of feeling alone can be very just daunting and depressing, and you can get very lonely, you can get very lost and caught up in your thoughts very quickly. So And that's also what correlates with acknowledgement. So that acknowledgement of knowing that, hey, I'm not the only person going through this. I am not alone. There are other people that relate to me, and we are going through the same thing. Although it might not be like, the best, we're not alone. And so if I can get over it, or if she can get over it and he can get over it and look at the bright side, so can I. So and also it's all about perspective as well. I think I did something like that on my blogcast, but I definitely want to do a video on perspective on YouTube, because I think it's very important. But yeah, so back to acknowledgement. But so yeah, I just think that it's very important. I think acknowledgement is like a gift. I think it's a given, and I think it's a gift. I think it's a given because if somebody is doing something positive and like they're helping and they're healing and they're just, even if they're just trying to work on themselves, to have that be acknowledged, or to have somebody, see you and hear you and just acknowledge that you're here, acknowledge that you're trying, that you're putting in the work, it really makes the world of a difference, like seriously, than not. And what I often like to go back to when I'm talking about acknowledgement is Naruto. If you guys know anime or know anything about anime, or even if you don't really know anything about anime, I'm pretty sure you know about Naruto and Dragon Ball, and those are like the main ones that you probably think about when you think about anime. So I bring up the Naruto story because if you guys have watched Naruto, and I've watched all the volumes, and I'm now on Boruto, which is love it, you guys. Definitely check it out if you've watched the Naruto series. It's the next generation with his son and their son and their kids, so I love it. It's so beautifully done. But anyways, back to the point. So basically, if you know the storyline, or if you kind of understood the storyline, or really what they were talking about, you know that in the beginning, like Naruto, he was a bad little kid, right? Like he was always causing trouble in the village. He was always like seeking out ways to get attention, which people thought like, oh, he's just a bad kid, he's just a troublemaker, he's just a nuisance, like, but really it was him trying to do anything he could to get attention, aka feel acknowledged, feel heard. And so when he would act out, and also because he had the nine-tailed beast inside of him, the whole village was scared of him. They really treated him very poorly as a child. And if you know, he didn't have his dad, he didn't have his mom. They died like shortly after he was born, basically. And so it's unfortunate. So he didn't have that. And looking at, behind the scenes, you could see why Naruto was like that. He didn't have he didn't really have that parent figure. He didn't have that. The village treated him like he was a monster, literally, because he did have that beast inside of him. So it really, you can see why he was kind of doing that, right? Like when you were in school and certain children used to act out, even if you were a child who used to act out yourself, right? You're most likely, you're not doing it to really be menacing and really be nasty. You are probably doing it to get some type of attention, to feel seen, to feel heard. So when kids want to feel seen, what do? They cry, they throw a tantrum, they act a certain way that's going to bring them attention. And shortly, what kids learn is, okay, if depending on how I act, this is the type of attention I'm going to get. So, yeah, and I do believe there is a difference between an attention seeker and somebody who acts out for attention. But we can go into that at a different time. I think they're similar in ways, but also I think they're very different. But anyways, back to the story. And so yeah, that, like I said, that was his whole thing. That's why he was acting out. He really just wanted to be acknowledged. And Sasuke, right, the Uchihas, he wanted to be acknowledged by his brother, but he was always acknowledged by the village, right? He was like the village favorite. Like everybody loved him. Like Sasuke was the strongest, he was the most popular, he was that dude. And so he always got acknowledged for being that dude, but he did not get the acknowledgement from the one person that he actually wanted it from. And if you know the Uchiha backstory, you know that his brother ended up slaughtering the whole village, but I'm not going to spoil anything for you guys. Oh, did I kind of just spoil it for you guys? Okay. Anyway, moving on. But if you know, I'm not going to say too much, but so he also didn't really have too much of that like figure to look up to in a sense. So with that being said, they're both two young boys who are chasing acknowledgement from somebody, which caused them to act out in a certain way. Like, even though Naruto acted out in a different way, he still had a very like kind of lighthearted, like funny, kind of charming personality. And Sasuke, his personality actually was quite the opposite. Sakura. So she was all over him, right? She was in love with him, but he never paid her no mind, which Naruto, on the other hand, he had the hugest crush on her, but they didn't end up being together, which I liked. I actually liked that they didn't end up being together because, she really didn't deserve my boy. She didn't, But anyway, moving on, you guys. So basically they were kind of chasing the same thing, but it was different. But as they got older, so like I said, Naruto was always kind of chasing that acknowledgement from the village, from Sasuke as well, while Sasuke was chasing that acknowledgement from trying to get it from his brother. So you can see kind of down the road, and then actually, obviously, later on down the line, Sasuke ends up leaving to try to kind of chase after that acknowledgement, but not in a good way. He ended up, fucking everybody over. That's really what he did. Y'all can say Team Uchiha all you want, but he really did fuck his village over. But that's okay. But so and then Naruto was basically chasing after the acknowledgement of Sasuke. What ended up happening was, in the end, Naruto ended up gaining real true power, and Sasuke, he was always powerful, but he ended up being used in a way for his power, and just going through a lot of things. I mean, he even tried to kill Naruto, so it's just, you can see how acknowledgement plays a role. And it's like, throughout all of this, obviously the goal was to, think about it. If like, because they were always the same. Naruto and Sasuke, they were very, very much alike. They were brothers. But at a certain point, when Naruto started getting stronger, because he started doing it kind of for himself. I mean, he was still doing it to get noticed and to get acknowledgement, but he was more doing it to find his true power and who he is as well. So from doing that, as you know, if you know what true power is, you can only gain true power from inside yourself. You cannot gain power from anything outside of yourself. That is not real power. It's a false sense of power. Ego is not power. Having tons and tons of money but not taking care of the citizens, right? The money is supposed to be to contribute to the citizens of the country, of the state, whatever. It's not being greedy. It's not murder. It's not who has more guns. That's not power. That's not real true power, because you didn't get it from yourself. So anything that you're seeking and you're not getting it and you're not cultivating it from yourself, from inside of yourself, it'll never be truly yours. That's not real power. And I think too, that's why kind of this world is the way it is, because people think that stealing and just going to other countries and destroying them and murdering them and torturing them and brainwashing and programming and doing all sorts of things, and stealing from the land and robbing the land and the earth, they think that that's power. That's not true power. That is true weakness. So meanwhile, while Naruto was like trying to get this acknowledgement, like all he wanted, he was getting stronger as well. Once he kind of made that bond with Sasuke, he was getting stronger to be noticed by Sasuke, because he acknowledged how strong Sasuke is. He acknowledged that. It's like almost like he had no choice but to, right? And the whole village loves Sasuke. So it was kind of like, and you know, Naruto's just he's just a genuine being. He's a genuine character. So he acknowledged that from him. Of course, at first, you know, they was like, you know how it is, but he ended up acknowledging for it. And I feel like all Naruto wanted back was that acknowledgement that Sasuke refused to give him because of his jealousy, because he didn't understand how was he getting so powerful. But he, like I said, he was cultivating that power within himself from his own will. Meanwhile, like I said, Sasuke in a way was not. So when it came down to it, Sasuke was jealous of Naruto, which caused him to try to seek, instead of just acknowledging Naruto and being like, yo, I see you, how did you get that far? Like, how did you, because if you know, Naruto, like, he had a very slow start. Like, he wasn't on Sasuke's level, right? He was not, it took him a while. It took him a while to even, like, learn Rasengan. Like, it took him a while to do that. Meanwhile, Sasuke was like this. He was learning things fast. He was very good at what, you know, he was very good. But so when Naruto started really getting that power from within himself, and then also too, he started having like his teacher. He started having people were just started being attracted to Naruto because they seen his true essence. So they were attracted to him, and they were like, you know, this kid isn't that bad. Like, this kid is not a scary monster, right? All the people in the village too were taught that he was scary, that he was some type of demon monster. That's also why it's like they all were like programmed to think that he was like this evil person when he wasn't. So when he got in ninja school and he started, you know, the teacher started like, oh, you know, actually, falling in love with Naruto and just his character and who he was as a person. That also gave him strength. So he was getting acknowledged for who he truly is, for his true essence. And so that also gave him power too, to be acknowledged by his teacher, to be acknowledged by, you know, some of his classmates that helped him too. So like I said, you can see how acknowledgement can play a big role, can play a big part in the difference between a life path, right? Like, if you can acknowledge somebody for healing, if you can acknowledge somebody like, hey, I know you went through a hard time. I know that, you know, life wasn't easy for you. I know, but I see you. I see you learning. I see you growing. I see you putting in that work to become a better version of you. And I just want to say, like, I'm rooting for you, man. Right? It's not a hard thing to do, but based on your perception and what you may be going through in life and what you may have been through, it can be very hard to acknowledge somebody. It can be very hard to acknowledge somebody's progress, especially if you feel like you are not where you want to be, or you are not at that level, or if you even think that, oh, I can never do that, I can never be at that level, right? It'll be very hard for you to acknowledge somebody who is putting in that work and who is growing and trying to become better. Just like Sasuke, right? He refused to acknowledge Naruto's power. And if you know Naruto, even after Sasuke tried to kill him and left that man for dead, you know, he left him for dead. Even after, Naruto's goal was to get stronger, simply to bring Sasuke back to the village. For seasons and seasons and seasons. I mean, this was a volume, you guys. This volume was very long. How many episodes? 500, 600? I don't know. Like, it was up there, you guys. So all this time, he was getting stronger just to bring Sasuke back. And by that time, the whole village had acknowledged who Naruto truly was. They knew who he truly was. They understand that power. People were asking how. The will inside of him to be better, to be stronger, to help somebody that he really cared about. That you know? And people started falling in love with him. Everywhere he went, he made a friend. Everywhere he went, people acknowledged him. Everywhere he went from then on. And then, as you know, he becomes the king, the Hokage. I don't know how to say, you guys, forgive me, but you know what I mean. He ended up following his dreams. He ended up becoming, you know, even when people are like, oh, that will never happen. You will never be that. You did this, you know. But, and he did it. He did it all from sheer will, strength, courage, and acknowledgement, right? If he had never acknowledged Sasuke, the whole storyline of Naruto would have been completely different. It would be a completely different story. But because Naruto chose to acknowledge his somebody that he felt so close to, somebody that he held it dear to him, that gave him strength, gave him true power and true strength. When you acknowledge somebody, it's not just you know, it's benefiting both of you, especially based on your perception. Are you the type to be inspired and motivated when you see somebody doing stuff that you may want to do, or that you like to do, or that you find cool or great? Or are you the type to hate and be like, or, you know, bring somebody down, or be jealous, or be mad, you know? So I just think that it makes the world of a difference, right? Just like, imagine if Sasuke had have actually given Naruto that acknowledgement. Now, I also believe everything happens for a reason. Who knows? I do think no matter what, Naruto would have got strong, and he would have, but going after Sasuke, the whole journey in it, and two, the journey of things, I want to talk about that too. I don't know if I'm going to talk about it here because it's already like 25 minutes, but I definitely do want to talk about the journey. So his whole journey would have been different. He went through so much and experienced so much and made so many friends and helped so many people. Who knows if he would have been able to do that if things didn't happen the way that they happened. So I definitely believe that everything happens for a reason, but I definitely believe that acknowledgement can definitely make or break somebody's life, right? There's so many people around the world that commit suicide. There are so many people around the world that feel useless and feel lonely and feel they don't have anybody to talk to, and they don't have anybody to relate to because nobody acknowledged them. There are so many people, right? We heard of, oh, that's why you always hear the saying, nobody values good people, nobody cares about good people, nobody, you know, cares about da-da-da, until you start taking it, until you start acting a certain way. I actually seen a video today from XXX. The video basically was about how nobody acknowledged Josai Onfroy. Nobody acknowledged him. People looked at him as weak. Nobody acknowledged him for who he was, he says, until he became XXX. He said, and then people start seeing it. Now people want a picture with him. Now people want this. Now people want that. But you know, he was getting attention. Whether you liked him, whether you loved him or hated him, he was getting attention. He was on at the time, and he and I mainly too started paying attention after too, because I started seeing videos of him. There's also too when I started to expand my mind and broaden my perspective, my mindset, and just my view on things. But that he was talking a lot about spirituality and evolving and frequency and just a lot of things like that. And so that's when I realized, I was like, oh, that's just that. That's the real entity. He starts talking about, you know, how you can basically save your soul or elevate your soul, which he says he couldn't do. But we're going to talk about that, but that's for another time. If you know about the industry, I mean, I think kind of everybody should know at least a little something. If you can see it, you can see it. But if not, I guess, you know, it can be pretty hard to see if you're very programmed. But if not, it can be very easy to see, very, very easy to spot. But that's, like I said, that's for another podcast. But anyways, you guys, so, or another video, but yeah, so I just wanted to kind of talk about that and talk about the difference acknowledgement makes in somebody's life, and how it can be very beneficial to not only the person you're acknowledging, but yourself as well. Like I said, we can either be motivated, we can, by other people, or we can be weakened by it. That's really what happened in that case. Sasuke became weak in a sense because he became jealous, and he became, like I said, starting to seek power from things outside of himself, you will never gain true power if it's not from yourself, right? That's why when people are trying to heal and all of that, and you may think nobody notices, right? Nobody really acknowledges the healing part, right? Nobody really acknowledges the journey. But when you transform, people will acknowledge that. And I can definitely experience that. I remember looking very different, but I was still the same me, but I looked different, and I was acknowledged in a very different way than I am acknowledged now, but I still am the same. So, in a sense, of course, grow. Of course, you have to grow. Of course, you learn and grow and go through evolution. And so, we should all have the same soul, but definitely different perspectives. I think after, as you get older and you learn more, there's more perspectives, there's more angles to things. You will never learn enough, ever. I don't think I'll ever learn enough in this time, and in the next lifetime, and the time after that. So I'm always looking forward to learning. Like, I am forever a student because I am a teacher. I like to teach things. So in order to teach, you have to learn. You cannot teach something that you don't learn. So that's why when I speak about things like this, I really like to speak through experience, because I have learned this. I have evolved through this. I have grown, and I'm not perfect, and you may always go back. Healing is not just a season. You don't have a season of healing. Healing is on and off. It's forever. There's so many times I'm like, oh, I healed from that, and then boom, just smacked me in the face. I'm like, damn, I thought I healed. I thought we were done with that. I thought it was over that. I thought we were on chapter 2, but I guess not. So, and don't be hard on yourself about it either. Being hard on yourself is not gonna do anything except piss you off. What you should do is be patient with yourself. Now, as I'm getting older, I'm learning patience again, and I didn't realize how much patience I ran out of as I was getting older, because I was a people pleaser, and I don't know. I guess I was tired after a certain point. I'm like, I don't have the patience for anything anymore. But now I'm learning patience again with myself, with, people around me, with the universe. I'm learning. So you're always going to learn, and you're always going to be healing. So don't take healing as like a bad thing either. Like, oh, I have to heal from this. Like, no, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing that you're healing. It's great. It's the best thing that you can do for yourself. Acknowledge yourself, love yourself, cultivate yourself, and love yourself, and forgive yourself, and be patient. So yeah, you guys, that little spiel might have been all over the place. This is 30 minutes. I did not expect for it to be 30 minutes. But yeah, you guys, so anyways, I hope that you enjoyed this. I will be back with an actual video. Like I said, you guys have a lot of things to do right now, and like I wasn't even expecting this to be 30 minutes, so I'm glad that I actually didn't, do my hair, straighten my hair, put on my eyelashes, do all that, and then record, because I wouldn't have had time for all that. So anyways, I just wanted to say that hopefully, like I said, this wasn't all around. Hopefully you guys got the point of what I was saying. Acknowledge your fellow peers. When you see them winning, acknowledge them. When you see them doing good, acknowledge them. When you see them putting in the work to become a better version of themselves, acknowledge it. You don't have to pay for it. You don't have to give the shirt off of your back for it. It's free. Acknowledgement is free. Showing love is free. Showing kindness is free. Working on yourself is free. All you need to do is work on you for you. That will automatically change your reality, automatically change your perspective, automatically attract good things to you, because you are working on yourself. And the universe will acknowledge that. So, if the universe can acknowledge the work you put in, you can acknowledge the work that others put in. Like I said, it is free. Really, I know I know that it can really be the difference between life and death. And it may be like, really? No, seriously. Seriously. People do a lot of things, you know. If you feel unacknowledged enough, you're not going to want to be here anymore. I know. So always please show love and be kind. Be the best version of yourself. You know, I don't make excuses for people who do not work on themselves. I do not make excuses for you, and I don't feel bad. That's vital. It's vital. So anyways, I'm sending you guys love. I'm sending you guys peace and healing. And I see you guys. I see you. I see all the talented artists on my page. I see all of the people making music and doing hair and doing tarot and doing healing and doing medicine and herbalism, and people who get on social media and spread a tip or a knowledge or anything like that. We see you. I see you, and keep going. You are needed. You are needed. You are vital to humanity, especially right now. You are vital to humanity. You are vital. So, like I said, I know this was a little bit long, but I hope you enjoy it. And I'm sending love and positivity to all you guys, and I will see you in the next one.